If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you, here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out. Now, before we get into this demonstration, I know y'all see it, man. I know y'all see it, man. I'm talking about, man, that moss jersey. Y'all know football season about to start. And y'all know I support the whole North, the NFC. I support the whole North. But I'm a stomp down Minnesota Viking. Like, come on, don't get it misconstrued now. Today is our first preseason game. We gonna see what's going on. But yeah, I'm a stomp down Viking. Yeah, shout out to Chicago, shout out to Detroit, shout out to Green Bay. I rock with y'all, but when it comes, I'm stomped down now. I'm stomped down. All right, okay, now let's get into this demonstration, right? You know, the prosecution has put out there, through the pre-trial hearing, we have come to realize and understand that they have 35 witnesses that will be testifying against Lil Durk in his federal trial. Now, the prosecution has broke these witnesses up. 20 of the witnesses will be key witnesses. Now, that right there don't look good. 20 key witnesses. And the reason why these guys are key witnesses is because they have important information to share with the jury, right? Eyewitness accounts, personal accounts, right? These guys are in the inner workings of Lil Durk's OTF, some type of way, one way, some type, shape, or form. They are in the inner workings, 20 of them. The cold-blooded part about this is that, gangbangers and people that associate with gangs and stuff like that are supposed to stick to the gang codes. And those codes are see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. But we all know that stuff right there really don't matter, especially when you facing the rest of your life in a federal penitentiary. Now, the other 15 witnesses are supporting witnesses. What does that mean, hood educated? Well, these supporting witnesses are going to come and testify and support and corroborate material and tangible evidence that the prosecution has against Lil Durk and the rest of his co-defendants. So listen, this is finna be an uphill battle for Lil Durk, but I have seen stuff like this play out and people get found not guilty and stuff like that. So we're gonna let it play out. But from just what I'm looking at, it don't look good for Lil Durk. So what I want to do, y'all, I want y'all to walk with me on this demonstration. Hit that like button. Hype the video, subscribe to the channel if you ain't been subscribed already, because we finna break down this demonstration blow by blow. We finna break down his charges, right? We finna break down everything so that we can get a clear understanding what the prosecution must prove in order to get a conviction against Lil Durk. Lil Durk has been charged with 3 stalking charges, and allow me to break these things down for y'all. The first one is conspiracy to commit stalking. The second one is stalking of rival rapper Quando Rondo. And the third one is stalking resulting in the death of Lil Pop. Now, we must understand something. That stalking right there can lead to a life sentence. Now, some of you might be saying, well, hey, hood educated, wait a minute. Durk was nowhere around. He wasn't stalking nobody. Durk was in Miami or Chicago. Or, they can't prove that Durk was in the car following Quando, Rondo, and Lil Pop. They can't prove that Durk had his phone stalking them and all that old type of stuff. They can't prove that, Durk was actually there doing the stalking. That's what a lot of us believe. But see, we got to pay close attention to the law. Durk is charged with conspiracy to stalking. And see, that conspiracy is a cold-blooded demonstration because in conspiracy, Durk doesn't have to be there. Durk does not have, his presence does not have to be there, meaning that Durk don't have to follow Quando, Rondo, or Lil Pop. He don't have to get in the car, follow them, or none of that type of stuff. He don't have to, find out where they going to go kick it at. He doesn't have to do none of that. Being that he's a part of a conspiracy, and if the feds can prove that his co-conspirators, his co-defendants did all that, following Quando, Rondo in the car, taking a flight from Chicago to California, you understand? Sending text messages and stuff saying, hey, they over here, they over there. As long as the feds can prove that his co-defendants did that, that's just like Durk did it. And that's the cold-blooded part about conspiracy. Get charged with anything you want to. Don't ever get in a conspiracy charge, because I'm talking about do life in the penitentiary for something that you actually didn't do. Like I just told y'all, they can't prove that Durk followed the man, Quando, Rondo, or Lil Pop in the car. They can't even prove that Durk pulled out a gun and shot Lil Pop and killed him. But being that he's a part of that conspiracy, he might as well did it himself. I know the conspiracy demonstration be hard to understand for some people, so y'all just allow me to elaborate a little bit, right? I'm gonna give y'all an example that hopefully everybody can understand, right? Let's just say that your mama is doing Thanksgiving cooking, right? You don't know how to cook at all. You can't even cook a hot dog, right? So what you do is you go buy all the food, right? You buying all the food, then you bring it to your mama and you say, here you go, mama, go on, throw down. Mama in the kitchen all day long, 4-5 hours. She throwing down cornbread, turkey, spaghetti, greens, everything, right? She throwing down in there pies, cakes, Kool-Aid, fruit punch. She throwing down in there. And as soon as she get done doing all that cooking, a prosecutor come and say, hey, look, check this out. That was illegal cooking. I'm finna arrest your mama, and I'm gonna arrest you for doing that cooking too. And you say, wait a minute, man. I don't even know how to cook, dog. I don't even know how to cook a hot dog. And the prosecutor say, well, that's okay. You don't have to know how to cook a hot dog. You bought her all the food so that she can do that illegal cooking. And therefore, you might as well did the illegal cooking yourself. I hope y'all understand that, because that conspiracy thing kind of throw people off a little bit. But I just want to put it in a way so that everybody can understand, right? That's how conspiracy work. And that's what Lil Durk is facing right now today. The only difference is he facing the rest of his life in a penitentiary for the murder of somebody that he didn't even kill. For the stalking of somebody that he didn't even actually stalk. That right there is conspiracy, y'all. Now, Durk, other two charges that he have, that he got uphill battle against, because he done got the RICO done up out of there. Now, that was raw. I mean, that was a good thing that he got that up out of there. But now he still got an uphill battle, because they gonna charge him with the RICO in a whole nother trial after this trial right here. So they throwing everything at him. They want to bury that brother. So now the other charge that he have is conspiracy to commit murder for hire. And this other charge is use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death. And both of them right there is a life sentence if convicted. Now, what I want to do is this right here, y'all. Now that we know the charges, right? Let's break down what charges that Lil Durk is looking at that possibly could lead to a conviction, and what is the least charges that Durk is looking at that he possibly can beat. In my opinion, the hardest charge to prove would be murder for hire resulting in death, right? And the reason why I believe that right there would be the hardest to prove, because I believe that Durk attorneys is going to attack that like it ain't no tomorrow. And here's the reason for, right? According to the federal government, the main target was the main target was Quando Rondo, right? According to government documents, right? The main target was Quando Rondo. They wanted Quando Rondo dead because of the death of King Von, according to federal documents, right? But Quando Rondo didn't get killed. Lil Pop got killed. You see, there's a mismatch in the target, right? The defense can say, hey man, they never tried to kill Quando Rondo. They intentionally killed Lil Pop. You see? And so in order for that to be, murder for hire against Quando Rondo, they got to prove that the target was Quando Rondo. You see what I'm saying? So I believe that his attorneys will be able to attack that because there's a mismatch in the targets. You can't say that, all right, look, we got you on the murder for hire resulting in death for Quando Rondo, but your homeboy get killed. No, that's a whole nother different charge. You see what I'm saying? That's something totally different. Not only that, there's no tangible evidence, right? There is nothing stating that, Quando, there's no evidence stating that Lil Durk wanted Lil Pop dead. You see what I'm saying? That charge right there is for Lil Pop. And so that's why I think that right there, Lil Durk might skate on that one right there because they can't prove that he wanted Lil Pop dead. The evidence say that he wanted Quando Rondo dead. Y'all see what I'm saying? So I believe that they got something there. You know what I mean? Just from my observation, right? Y'all can get in the comments, tell me I'm tripping or whatever. That's cool, right? And not only that, though, they have the witness that they have that's going to get on the stand that's going to say, hey, look, check this out. We wanted Quando Rondo dead, not Lil Pop. You see what I'm saying? That's what the witness going to have to say. The witnesses that are turning on Lil Durk, that is a part of his group, can't get on the stand and say, hey, check this out. Yeah, the bounty was for Lil Pop. No, the bounty was for Quando Rondo, according to the documents and according to, the testimony that these boys are going to get up there and testify to. So I believe that's right. And not only that, though, you got a guy getting up there testifying who has a criminal history and stuff like that. I believe that Durk lawyers will be able to prove to a jury that, look, you can't trust this guy right here. He has an incentive to get up here and testify. He doesn't want to go to jail. You see, so he's going to get up here. He's going to lie and lie to you. And this guy's a criminal, right? They're going to dog him. So I believe that, that part right there, Lil Durk might get some love on that part because, hey, look, the targets is mismatched. Now, I'm about to lay something on y'all that's possibly going to confuse you, right? Because I just laid up here and I just broke down that murder for hire resulting in death will be a challenge for Durk's, for the prosecution to prove, right? But what about conspiracy to commit murder? Now, that sounds the same, right? But it's totally different. It's a totally different charge from the murder resulting in death. And the reason why I said that that's going to be a challenge for the prosecution is because the wrong person died. And when you're dealing with elements of cases and stuff like that, look, they break this stuff down and say, hey, you caused the death of Quando Rondo, or you caused the death of Lil Pop and all that. And it can't say that because Quando Rondo didn't die. He didn't die. Lil Pop died. But the target was Quando Rondo, according to the documents, right? So now here it is. That's going to be a challenge for the prosecution. But the conspiracy to commit murder, I believe that right there is possibly going to be a slam dunk for the prosecution. Now, understand something, y'all. When you dealing in legal terms and law, you got to always pay close attention to the wording. Always pay close attention to the elements of the crime. Because if they charge you with something and the elements of that crime, they don't have the evidence to prove the elements of that crime, you can walk on that right there. And if you don't walk, then you can appeal it and say, look, they didn't even prove this charge right here. and then they can probably drop that and drop the sentence for that charge as well. Now, before I get into what I believe, let me just, y'all bear with me, right? Walk with me, because I want to give y'all a clear understanding, right? Let's talk about these elements of crimes, right? And here's what I mean. Let me break it down in a way so that, everybody can understand. Let's say that they charged you with first-degree murder. So what the prosecution has to do, they have to prove that you killed somebody. And not only that you killed somebody, they got to have the identity of the person that you killed. These are elements of first-degree murder, and it must be premeditated. These are the elements of first-degree murder. It was premeditated. Somebody died, and you was the one that killed them. Those are 3 elements of first-degree murder, right? But let's say that nobody died. They can't charge you with first-degree murder then, if nobody died. And in this demonstration right here, what I'm trying to explain to y'all is that Rondo didn't die, and he was the main target. So when they charging him with the murder for hire resulting in death, it's for Rondo, not for Lil Pop. And I believe, because the plot was for Rondo, and I believe that the prosecution is going to have a hard time proving it. And that's just my belief, right? Now, let's get to the evidence of this conspiracy murder for hire. I believe this conspiracy charge will be the easiest for the prosecution, because like I said earlier in this video, Durk don't have to be there. Durk ain't had to pull the trigger. Durk don't have to, been and stalk the man, follow them in cars, and none of that. As long as the people that are locked up with Durk, that are a part of this conspiracy, did all that, Durk had something to do with it. Period. Right? And what they're using is, they're using the fact that Durk's own OTF credit cards were used to pay for the flights. For them to leave Chicago and get to California. They're going to use the fact that the rental cars that was used, they used those same OTF credit cards. And who's the head of OTF? Lil Durk. They're going to use 20 potential witnesses with insider information about the plot to kill Rondo, about the bounty that Lil Durk put on Rondo's head for $1 million. You see? But not only that though, they're gonna use a confidential, reliable informant. Now, people that are not, a part of the criminal lifestyle, don't know nothing about this lifestyle, you gotta understand a confident, reliable informant is like a police. I'm talking about he's like a police that don't have a badge. And he's a confidential informant because he is confidential. You don't know who he is. But the whole time he's working. He's even getting paid to work. You see? And the government trusts him as if they trusted another police officer. Why? Because he has worked before. This confidential, reliable informant has a track record of telling the truth on criminals and getting criminals locked up. And they have that against Lil Durk. They have a confidential, reliable informant willing to get on the stand and talk about the inner workings of OTF. Talk about the plots of OTF. Get up on the stand and say, listen, Durk put a hit on 6 people. Not just Rondo, but 6 other people. You see what I'm saying? No, that don't look good. That don't look good. And if the defense attorney might say, well, he's a confidential, reliable informant, the prosecutor gonna say, yes, he is. We don't have no problem with telling y'all that. He works for us to keep criminals off the streets, to keep our streets safe, to keep the community safe. And when you got 12 people, taxpaying citizens sitting up there, they're not gonna look at that confidential, reliable informant like he's a dirtbag like criminals do. They're going to be looking at him like, hey, good job. You're keeping my wife safe. You're keeping my children safe. We appreciate your service. But not only that, two of the people, or three of the people that are co-conspirators on this case with Lil Durk, he can't disassociate himself from them. He has close ties to these guys. It's probably two of them that he probably, that he can say, I don't even know them, right? But that doesn't even matter because they know the other guys that helped them commit the murder. And see, and that's where that conspiracy thing pops in. Here it is, you got guys flying from Chicago. They go to San Diego to play it cool, right? They thought that was slick. Then they drove to LA and committed the murder. They got the flight records, they got phone records, they got the IDs, they got the rental cars. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, wait a minute, hold on. Like, this is too much. Like his friends, the co-defendants, they are directly associated with the murder of Lil Pop. And this is their friend. This is the big dog, Big Durk. You know what I'm saying? This is the big dog. He's associated. He's the one orchestrating things, according to the 20 people that's going to get on the stand and testify. So that's going to be tough. That's going to be real tough, right? But let's wait and see. But in my mind, that conspiracy charge is what's gonna cook Durk. I don't think any other charges, he might get a little fight, but the conspiracy charges, the conspiracy to stalk, and the conspiracy to commit murder, it's over with. The stalking alone, you know what I'm saying? They can prove that. You see what I'm saying? They can't prove that Durk, but his friends, the one that he's on, they were stalking. You see? And the conspiracy attaches Durk. His friends, they killed Quando, Rondo. The conspiracy attaches Durk. You see what I'm saying? So, look, it's not looking good for that brother. But at the same time, hey, look, you never know. Durk got big money. He dealing with them big lawyers. He might hit a couple of jury members or something. Hey, man, say y'all, you never know. I mean, it's how things go. You see what I'm saying? But that's my take on the Durk trial. It's finna come up, and I'm gonna be covering that trial because I want to be able to show the young brothers, and I want to be able to show the classic brothers. How this man right here possibly ruined his empire, trying to get back for one of his homeboys. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Peace and love.